Chris Canty was putting a lot of the blame on this Patriots coaching staff. Listen to this.
It was a miserable game from Josh McDaniels. All of the praise that he's gotten this year for the development of Drake May, and rightfully so, all of that goes out the window with that performance that he had yesterday. Because he didn't give his young quarterback a chance. My God, it's just a disgusting game by Josh McDaniels.
A disgusting game. You like that? What do you think, Cam?
Disgusting is strong. That's strong behavior right now. But, hey, I'll say it this way. I give everybody a different dynamic and a different vantage point with this one. That kind of happened to me. And the thing that I'm most disappointed in Josh McDaniel is that where was the in-game adjustments? When I played in Super Bowl 50, one man wreaked havoc. Yeah. His name is Von Miller. And old boy did his big one. Unfortunately, it was with me. So for me, even going back and you start to say, hey, what was the in-game adjustments to say we can't allow 58 to take over? Well, fast forward or play back yesterday's game, the front four was so dominant with it wasn't as if they were making impact plays each and every time. Yeah. You could tell it was getting to Drake May. And how do we come up with ways to protect him better? How do we come up with ways to get in their rhythm sooner? And how do we come up with ways to move the football in a game that has already identified and showed it to be? So as I'm looking back, I was having flashbacks like, okay, what's the plan? What's the plan? Is anybody going to do something? Because if you don't, the game is going to get so out of hand, it's going to be the point of no return.
They lost this game on January 27th. If anybody knows how playoffs work, the week before, all of your scouting department, they're watching both of the teams that you could play. And then by January 27th, your game plan is initially in because you're going to try to plan, and you know this, you're going to try to plan as much as you can while you're at home so you don't have to do that on the road. This game was over. They had no idea how they were going to help Will Campbell. They had no idea how they were going to protect Drake May. They had no idea how they were going to take shots and get chunk plays. And here is what Marcus said that I agree with. Where was the aggression? It was clear by the end of the second quarter, you are not better than this team. Why aren't we trying to go for it on fourth down when we're on third down, have plays where we can get another shot on fourth? Why aren't we going for two when we can make it 11 points instead of having it at 12 points, which would be the same as having it as 13 points? Why didn't you say to yourself, we ain't better than them? We don't know if we're ever going to get back here. Let's empty everything we got in the gun. They didn't do that. They didn't prepare in a way where they could make adjustments. And when they got in the game, they got scared. They got tight. And when you do, it's like the tight end commercial. What it said? Yeah. Loosen your tight end. Loosen your tight end.
I like that.
They needed to loosen their tight end.
Hey, that was funny.
Yeah. Listen, man, there's a level of arrogance that I was disappointed with the New England Patriots last night. You knew Will Campbell was a liability. And I hate to pile on Will Campbell, our LSU brethren. But you knew from your previous 3 games that you're going into a very similar situation of these defenses that you face, and you leave a rookie on the island that's already struggling. You leave a left guard on the island that's already struggling. And if you look at this game, the correlation was absolutely there. The guard got beat on a pass rush, and Will Campbell was getting beat and the pressures that were being caused. Sometimes, as a coach, right, you got to drop your ego a little bit and say, this plan that I formulated is not going to be successful for us. And you have to have something else you can go to. I've always wondered in games like this, why don't you speed up the tempo at some point? Why don't you try to find plays? Where's the screen game? Where are the things for Drake May to get his legs going? And I know you're afraid.
The 6 offensive linemen.
Yeah, just anything. But that's what I was saying earlier in the show, RC. It's like, bro, you ain't got no games after this. Regardless of if you win or lose, right? You ain't saving no play for next week, and we going to hold this one. Or you not telling Drake May, hey, man, don't try to go out. Man, go out and try to make every play you can make.
You heard last night Collinsworth kind of said that, too, about speeding up the game, but it was in the fourth quarter. It was like it had already been almost out of reach.
Well, you brought up Chris Collinsworth, and I think that it was very telling what was coming out of his mouth. He was bringing up the fact that New England appeared to be conceding in the second quarter. In the second quarter. And so, again, when we speak about a team that knows it's inferior. We have to understand that even though it's not a rarity to feel for a team to feel that way in the National Football League, it's a rarity for the average viewer to see it that early. It's a rarity for us to look at it and be like this. You don't believe. You don't think you got it. You know you're inferior to this team. Usually that's something walking into a game of this magnitude that galvanizes a team and uplifts them and say, we ain't got nothing to lose. Let's go for it. Y'all all picking them. Fine, let's get it on.
Stephen A., this bothering Cam. What's up, Cam? What's up?
When I say fool's gold, and everybody get to saying certain things, oh, you hating, you bitter, you this, you that, but it was inevitable. When you start to see that you're beating everybody they're not at their best. You're finding ways to scratch and claw to win. They're not at their best, bro. You're fighting little bro. You're not fighting big bro. Matter of fact, you're fighting the third cousin. You're not fighting the head honcho. As you start to identify in that game, as things was transpiring, the Seattle Seahawks was imposing their will and throwing their weight around to say, they're not locked in. This can't be the Super Bowl matchup that we was hearing so much about. And you can keep saying the Will Campbells. You can keep mentioning Drake May. You can even keep mentioning Josh Allen. But nobody, Josh McDaniels. But nobody on the New England Patriots side of the football, coaches included, really took it personal. Where a guy like Stephon Diggs was set up for you like to take over. Nobody took over.
But Cam, like at some point,
you can't take over. You ain't got it.
The other big point, design runs by the New England Patriots. 54% of them. Seattle hit them behind the line of scrimmage. 54% of the time. You got nothing. They basically snatched their heart away.
I have nothing.
You know what else? You know what else though? When you look at the offensive game plan, where was Travion Henderson? He was, in my opinion, the most explosive player on that offense. We saw late in the game the toss to the outside, and we were like, okay, why haven't we seen that more? Where are some of the screens to get the football to him in space? Kyle Williams, the young rookie, the way that he can make explosive plays in the pass game. Why didn't they try to exhaust everything that was at their disposal to create something? That's what's frustrating to me.
Because the reality is, we've seen games where the better team didn't win.
Yes.
Of course.
Like we've witnessed that all season long. Like this particular game, and that's why I love football, because the variables matter. The ball bouncing in a certain direction matter. Luck matters. You got to give yourself a chance for luck, though. That's the frustration that the New England Patriots should have. Look, we can't protect them. Hey, man, run a go route, I'm going to throw it up, see if you can win a 50-50 ball. They did it one time and scored a touchdown with it. Those are the things we're talking about. It's not, look, schematically, X's and O's, man for man, getting beat. I have been on football fields, Cam, you have too, and RC, where we looked across the line of scrimmage and said, man, we better than them. But why we can't beat them?
Y'all was 13-3, and the Giants can't beat y'all at your own place.
And we beat them twice during the regular season. They came with a plan we weren't ready for. Here's the thing, too, man. Like, when you get to this point of the season, right, everybody talks about, well, what else are you going to do different that you haven't shown all season? Something. Something. The New England Patriots were in the same offense we've seen them run since the end of the season against the best defense in the league in the Super Bowl.
And by the way, when that kind of stuff has plagued them in past Super Bowl losses, you had a coach and an offensive coordinator that was a part of the team when it happened, which means that residue of those feelings should have hit you, should have overwhelmed you, where you could have prevented yourself from having it replicated yet again.
I mean, they held them how many field goals in the first half? It was never really out of reach until we got to the third, fourth quarter, and they had that pick six. We're going to say bye to Swagoo, and I know you're going to say bye to Swagoo and be sad about it because we're not going to see him for a little bit. We're not going to see him for a little bit.
That brother happier than Kawhi Leonard, to be honest.